The Battle of Uhud is a pivotal event in Islamic history, a tale of valor, faith, and the trials faced by the early Muslim community. It unfolded in the year 625 CE, just a year after the Battle of Badr, where the Muslims had achieved a decisive victory against the Quraysh of Mecca. However, Uhud would prove to be a far more challenging and bittersweet experience. The story begins in Medina, where the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, and his followers had established a thriving community. The Quraysh, humiliated by their defeat at Badr, were determined to avenge their losses and crush the growing influence of Islam. They amassed an army of 3,000 well-armed warriors, including 700 clad in chainmail, 200 cavalry, and a contingent of skilled archers. Their leader, Abu Sufyan, vowed to destroy the Muslims once and for all. News of the approaching Meccan army reached Medina, and the Prophet called for a council to decide how to respond. Some of the younger, more eager companions advocated for marching out to meet the enemy, while others suggested staying within the city and defending it. After much deliberation, the Prophet decided to meet the Quraysh on the battlefield, a decision influenced by the enthusiasm of the younger Muslims. On the morning of March 23, 625 CE, the Muslim army of approximately 1,000 men set out for Mount Uhud, a rocky hill just north of Medina. However, their numbers were soon reduced to 700 when a group of hypocrites, led by Abdullah ibn Ubay, withdrew, claiming the fight was unnecessary. Despite this setback, the Muslims pressed on, their hearts filled with faith and determination. As they reached Uhud, the Prophet strategically positioned his forces. He placed 50 archers on a nearby hill, commanding them to hold their position no matter what happened in the battle below. Their role was crucial, to protect the Muslim army from being flanked by the Meccan cavalry. The rest of the Muslim army formed ranks at the base of the mountain, ready to face the enemy. The battle began with a fierce charge from the Quraysh. The Meccan warriors, fueled by their desire for revenge, attacked with relentless fury. The Muslims, though outnumbered, fought with unwavering courage. Hamza, the Prophet's uncle and a lion of the battlefield, struck fear into the hearts of the enemy with his unmatched bravery. The Muslim archers rained arrows down on the advancing Meccans, causing significant casualties. For a moment, it seemed as though the Muslims might prevail. The Quraysh began to falter, and their lines started to break. But then, disaster struck. The Muslim archers on the hill, seeing the Quraysh retreat, abandoned their posts against the Prophet's explicit orders. Lured by the prospect of spoils of war, they left their position, leaving the Muslim flank exposed. Khalid ibn al-Walid, the brilliant Meccan cavalry commander, seized the opportunity. He led his horsemen around the hill and attacked the Muslims from behind. The Muslim army, caught off guard, was thrown into chaos. The tide of the battle turned swiftly and brutally. In the midst of the confusion, the Prophet himself became a target. The Quraysh warriors, desperate to kill him, closed in. A stone struck the Prophet, knocking out one of his teeth and wounding his face. Another blow cut his lip, and he fell into a pit, bleeding and in pain. Rumors spread that he had been killed, further demoralizing the Muslim forces. But the Prophet was not dead. He was protected by a small group of loyal companions who fought valiantly to shield him. Among them was Mus'ab ibn Umayr, who bore a striking resemblance to the Prophet. Mus'ab was martyred while defending him, and the Quraysh, mistaking him for Muhammad, celebrated prematurely. The Muslims, though battered and bloodied, began to regroup. The Prophet, despite his injuries, rallied his companions. They retreated to the safety of the mountain, where they could defend themselves more effectively. The Quraysh, exhausted and unable to dislodge them, eventually withdrew. The Battle of Uhud ended in a painful stalemate. The Muslims had suffered heavy losses, with 70 martyrs, including the beloved Hamza. The Quraysh, though they had inflicted significant damage, failed to achieve their ultimate goal of destroying the Muslim community. In the aftermath, the Prophet and his companions returned to Medina, their hearts heavy with grief but their faith unshaken. The battle served as a profound lesson for the Muslims. It taught them the importance of discipline, unity, and obedience to the Prophet's commands. The archers' mistake had cost them dearly, but it also reinforced the need for unwavering commitment to their cause. The Battle of Uhud was not a victory in the traditional sense, but it was a testament to the resilience and faith of the early Muslim community. It reminded them that trials and setbacks are part of the path to success, and that true victory lies in steadfastness and trust in Allah. And so, the story of Uhud became a source of inspiration for generations to come, a reminder that even in the face of adversity, faith and perseverance can light the way forward.